The scientific method is followed by all scientists. It is the process by which we have come to our understanding of the world we know. But how do we know if scientific evidence presented to us is trustworthy? There are several key factors that can increase or decrease the reliability of a scientific experiment. One important factor to consider is the sample size of a study. Sample size refers to the number of test subjects involved. The greater the sample size, the more valid the data. Many scientific studies have been rejected because the sample size from which they collected data was too small. A good scientist wants to test their hypothesis on the greatest sample size possible. Of course, researchers are limited to the amount of test subjects that they can find or that they can handle. Another important quality of a trustworthy experiment is that it has been repeated many times with consistent results. If other researchers follow the procedure but get significantly different results, then the experiment is not trustworthy. A good scientist repeats their own experiment several times with consistent results, and valid claims are supported when the results can be replicated by others. Good science avoids bias. Bias is when a researcher portrays the results to have a certain desired conclusion. For example, the principal wants to see some work samples to see how well students are doing in science. If Miss Taylor is showing bias, she will only select the best work she can find to support the conclusion that her students are doing well. If Miss Taylor is being honest and wants to avoid bias, she will select random samples of work. To totally avoid potential bias, Miss Taylor should not be handling the work samples at all, since she is intrinsically biased. Instead, an uninvolved teacher with no bias should be asked to go collect random samples. Bias often occurs when the researcher has an agenda or an opinion. Employees that work for a cleaning product company should not be conducting an experiment about the effectiveness of their own product. An unbiased outside scientist should conduct or repeat the research. Finally, a valid scientific experiment keeps all variables under control. An experiment should only test one independent variable at a time, and all other variables between the control and experimental groups should be kept constant. It is almost impossible to keep everything constant, so a good scientist considers inconsistencies and must decide and report if any other variables had a significant role in the results of the experiment.